Hello everybody and welcome to another D&D discussion video. In this video, we're going to go over Paladin from the 2024 Player's Handbook, levels 1 through 20. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and if you want to see more, I have more videos on different classes, just go check out my playlist. Now let's get into it. Again, I'll be using D&D Beyond to go over the Paladin class. And here we are, let's go Paladin, level 20. At first level, we have the core Paladin traits. So your primary ability is going to be Strength and Charisma. It's another dual ability, dual primary ability. You need that strength and your charisma up. Your hit point die is 1d10 per paladin level. Your saving throw proficiencies are in wisdom and charisma. Your skill proficiencies, you get to choose 2 between athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, or religion. Your weapon proficiencies, you are proficient in simple and martial weapons. Your armor training, you are proficient in light, medium, and heavy armor and shields. For your starting equipment, you can choose A or B, same as all the other classes. A is chainmail, shield, longsword, 6 javelins, holy symbol, priest pack, and 9 gold pieces, or you can choose option B and get 150 gold pieces. So here we're gonna choose Paladin skill proficiencies. I'm gonna go, stereotypical with it, so let's do athletics and religion. Also at first level, you get lay on hands, so you have a pool of healing power that replenishes when you finish a long rest, and with that pool, you can restore a total number of hit points equal to 5 times your Paladin level. So, at first level, you'll get 5 HP that you can recover with it. At 5th level, you get 25 HP, so it levels up with you. So as a bonus action, you can touch a creature, which can be yourself, and draw power from that pool to restore a number of hit points up to the maximum remaining. So you can do as much as you want, you just get at level 1, you get 5 total hit points. You can heal 2, and then you have 3 for later, or you could choose all 5 in one go. You can also expend 5 hit points from the pool of healing power and remove poisoned condition from the creature, and they don't restore hit points. So you can sacrifice that 5 hit points to remove poisoned. At first level, this is different from 2014 rules. If you're familiar with the 2014 rules, you used to get spellcasting at 2nd level, but now you get spellcasting at 1st level. So you'll have the Paladin features table that you'll have, and that'll detail a lot of the spell information, spellcasting information you need, like the amount of spell slots you have per level, the amount of prepared spells you have. And for your spell slots, you regain all expended slots when you finish a long rest. So for Paladins, you get a specific number of spells that you can prepare at one time, and this is one of those classes where after a long rest, you can replace one spell on your list with another spell. So you're not locked into those spells. You can change them per long rest instead of per level up. Just make sure you get spells that you have levels for. You can't go choosing a level 9 spell when you only have level 2 spell slots. You can't cast that level 9 spell with a level 2 spell slot. And again, your Paladin features table will show everything you need to know. Your spellcasting ability is Charisma for your Paladin spells, and your spellcasting focus is a holy symbol that you use as your focus. Also at first level, you get a weapon mastery. So again, this is similar to the other martial classes in 2024. You get a mastery property with a weapon that you're proficient in, and you can change these out per long rest. But at first level, you get 2 options. So since I start with a longsword and javelins, I'm going to choose those weapon mastery properties for my mastery properties. So here's javelin, which is slow. So if you hit a creature and you deal damage to it, you can reduce its speed by 10 feet. And then there's longsword, which is sap, where if you hit a creature with a longsword, they have disadvantage on its next attack roll before the start of your next turn. All right, on 2nd level, you get a fighting style, and they have fighting style feats that you can choose from. So here I get Blessed Warrior, and then there's also fighting style feat. So the fighting style feat is pretty much, it's like whatever the fighter gets, or I could choose Blessed Warrior. So for instance, if I choose fighting style feat, I get options to these ones down here: archery, defense, great weapon fighting, and 2 weapon fighting. Pretty self-explanatory. The defense you can never go wrong with, because you get a +1 to your AC whenever you wear armor, so defense is always a good thing to do. Or I can do Blessed Warrior, which is specific to Paladins. So for Blessed Warrior, I get to learn 2 cleric cantrips of my choice, and they count as Paladin spells, and I use Charisma as my spellcasting ability for them. And whenever I gain a level, I can replace the cantrip with another cleric cantrip. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that one just because that one is a little bit different. Only paladins have it. So we're gonna do Blessed Warrior. We get to choose 2 cleric cantrips. So I'm gonna choose Toll the Dead because it's a just fantastic spell, and I'm gonna choose Guidance. But you could also choose whatever you want for here. I just chose those ones. At 2nd level, you get Paladin's Smite. You always have the Divine Smite spell prepared, and you can cast it without expending a spell slot, but you must finish a long rest before you can do that. So you get 1 free cast of Divine Smite. At 3rd level, you get Channel Divinity, and this one, you get some Channel Divinities for being a cleric, and then you get other channel divinity options with your subclass that we'll go over later. So basically you channel divine energy to fuel magical effects. Yeah, you have 1 effect, Divine Sense, and then other paladin features give additional channel divinity effect options, like later on in your levels you get a couple more, and then you can get 1 from your subclass. And at 3rd level, you get it twice, and you regain 1 of its expended uses when you finish a short rest, and all of them when you finish a long rest, and you gain an additional use when you reach Paladin level 11. So since we're making a level 20 character, you get 3 of them. And some channel divinities make a saving throw, and that DC is going to be equal to your spellcasting DC. So the one you get from this very basic level, you get Divine Sense. As a bonus action, you can open your awareness to detect celestials, fiends, and undead. And for the next 10 minutes, you know where they are. You, within 60 feet of you, you know where they are and you know the creature type. And within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hollow spell. Also at 3rd level, you get Paladin subclass. So, you know, we just get to choose a subclass, archetype. I only have, I don't have the 2024 Player's Handbook, so I get Oath of Devotion. Uphold the ideals of justice and order. The Oath of Devotion binds paladins to the ideals of justice and order. So Oath of Devotion is going to give us Oath of Devotion spells that are always prepared. So at level 3, you get Protection from Evil and Good and Shield of Faith. At level 5, you get Aid and Zone of Truth. At level 9, you get Beacon of Hope and Dispel Magic. Level 13, you get Freedom of Movement and Guardian of Faith. And at level 17, you get Commune and Flame Strike. Also, with the Oath of Devotion subclass, you get Sacred Weapon. When you take the attack action, you can expend 1 use of your Channel Divinity to imbue 1 melee weapon that you are holding with positive energy. For 10 minutes or until you use this feature again, you add your Charisma modifier to attack rolls you make with that weapon. And each time you hit, you cause it to deal its normal damage or radiant damage. The weapon also emits bright light in 20 feet and dim light in 20 feet beyond that. So you can do extra damage, and you can use your Channel Divinity and deal extra damage with your weapon with your attack action. And what's nice too is you can cause it to deal its normal damage or its radiant damage, which is nice because, there are, when you get up in levels, there are going to be enemies that have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. So if you make them do radiant damage, it bypasses that resistance. Level 4, you get ability score improvement, same as everything else. So let's do that and buff our strength and charisma, because those are our 2 primary abilities. At 5th level, you get extra attack, self-explanatory. You can attack twice instead of once whenever you attack. Also at 5th level, you get Faithful Steed. You always have the Find Steed spell prepared, so you can call on a horse or other animal that you can ride, and you get a rideable horse. You get a steed. You can cast it once without expending a spell slot, and you regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. So you get a free horse once per long rest. At 6th level, you get Aura of Protection. So you radiate an unseeable aura within 10 feet of you, and you and your allies in the aura gain a bonus to saving throws equal to your charisma modifier. And somebody can only be affected by 1 aura. So you can't have like a party of 4 paladins and all get this, and you all add your auras, together. No, you get 1 aura. So this just buffs up your saving throws and makes you a little bit more resilient to those saving throws. At level 7, you get Aura of Devotion, and this Aura of Devotion is a paladin subclass feature with Oath of Devotion. So you and your allies have immunity to the charmed condition while in the Aura of Protection. And if a charmed ally enters the area, they're no longer charmed, it ends right there. So Aura of Protection and Aura of Devotion go very well together because you get both of them. You get immunity to charmed, and you get, additional bonuses to your saving throws. At 8th level, you get ability score improvement, same as everything else. So let's go ahead and buff our strength and charisma. So at 9th level, you get abjure foes. As a magic action, you can expend one use of your channel divinity to overwhelm foes with awe. As you present your holy symbol or weapon, you can target a number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier that you can see within 60 feet of you, and they must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be frightened for 1 minute, or until it takes damage. So while they're frightened in this way, they can only either move, take an action, or take a bonus action. They can't do all three, they can't do two of them, they can only do one of them. So you can use this in several different ways. You can use it to just protect your people, you know, protect your allies, or you can use it to like try to get away from something, you know, use to abjure foes, and you can frighten them, and they can't do a whole lot. At 10th level, you get Aura of Courage. You and your allies have immunity to Frightened condition while in your Aura of Protection. And again, if a frightened ally enters it, it just ends there. So not only, with Oath of Devotion specifically, not only do you get a bonus to your saving throws, but you also are immune to Charmed and immune to Frightened while next to the Paladin. At 11th level, you get Radiant Strikes. So now, whenever you hit a target with an attack roll using a melee weapon or an unarmed strike, the target takes an extra 1d8 Radiant damage. So you just deal more damage. You just deal more damage. You're more powerful. At 12th level, you get ability score improvement again. So let's just put it into charisma and strength. At 14th level, you get restoring touch. When you use lay on hands, you can also remove one or more of the following: blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, or stunned. So you get a bunch of other options, a bunch of other conditions that you can now end with it instead of just poisoned. And again, you just expend 5 hit points from your pool for each of these conditions. They don't restore hit points. You just take those 5 away to end a condition on somebody. At 15th level, this is an Oath of Devotion feature. So your subclass feature, whenever you cast Divine Smite, you and your allies have half cover while in your Aura of Protection. The aura has this benefit until the start of your next turn. So, I mean, you can Divine Smite, and when you Divine Smite, you basically make all your allies harder to hit with ranged weapons. At 16th level, another ability score improvement, like other classes, so let's put it again into Charisma and Strength. At 18th level, pretty simple, Aura expansion. Your Aura of Protection is now a 30-foot emanation. So you affect a larger area. An emanation, all that means is that it's centered on you, it starts from you and goes outwards. At 19th level, you get Epic Boon again, with like every other class, so let's go ahead and put in Epic Boon feat. You know, I'm gonna do a different one. I could do other ones with this one, but I'm gonna do this one just because it's different, and I wanna get around to all of the Epic Boons for these videos. I chose Boon of True Sight, so increase one ability score of your choice by 1, so, you know, let's just do Charisma. And then you have True Sight with a range of 60 feet. And True Sight is really cool, and it can be helpful, or it can just be a thing that you don't use very much. But True Sight is very nice because it allows the person with True Sight to see through normal and magical darkness, spot invisible creatures and objects, automatically detect visual illusions, and perceive the original form of shape changers or transformed creatures. So you're not tricked by anything. You know, you can see into everything, you can see past everything, you know, you can see everything. And at 20th level, this is another Oath of Devotion subclass feature. As a bonus action, you can imbue your Aura of Protection with Holy Power, granting the benefits below for 10 minutes or until you end them. And you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. You can also restore your use of it by expending a level 5 spell slot. So, for 10 minutes, your Aura of Protection now has these things. You get Holy Ward, you have advantage on any saving throw you are forced to make by a fiend or an undead, which is it's a little bit niche, but there are a lot of fiends and undeads in D&D in general, so this has a little bit more use cases. Radiant damage, whenever an enemy starts its turn in the area, that creature takes radiant damage equal to Charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus. So it's kind of like Spirit Guardians, where they come into your aura and they just take damage. And Sunlight. The aura is filled with bright light that is sunlight. So this is nice when you're fighting, you know, undead, people who have sunlight sensitivity, vampire, all that kind of stuff, you know, you get good for that. So that was Paladin levels 1 through 20 from the 2024 handbook. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button and check out all the other videos I have. Check out the playlist I have that details all the other classes and see if there's something else you're interested in. If you have any questions whatsoever, just let me know in the comments and I'll answer them. But that's gonna be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.